4 true scary horror stories animated. As y'all know, I'm the scared god, bro. Not even Outlast scaring me, bro.
Live in a small home in a fairly decent neighborhood, and I also work from home
That
as
ad
well.
almost saved me.
I have my office set up upstairs in a small room with my desk right by a window that faces the front of the house. I liked being able to open it for fresh air, or have the view when it was nice out. This was as fall was just starting, so I pretty much had the window open all day.
Maybe after this.
One regular weekday, though, around noon, I was doing my usual work at my desk when I noticed something out the window. There was a person.
This nigga beating his meat? Is this the pocket jerk method, chat? What the fuck?
A man standing at the bottom of my driveway, not walking past it or stopping to tie his shoe or anything. He was just standing there and looking up at my house.
Can't even do it.
I couldn't tell if he could see me in the window or not, but after only a few seconds of me looking at him, he walked away. I thought it was really strange, but that was about it. What else was I supposed to think or do?
I mean,
I continued with work. I did an occasional check out the window every now and again, but seeing nothing else, I wasn't too worried about it.
That's kind of weird if they had a nigga stand outside my window.
The following day, I was on the same routine.
So he'd have to be in my driveway,
I got to work and was pretty busy the whole day. I had a lot of video calls with my coworkers.
Close the window, gang.
During one of these calls, I spaced out
and happened to glance out the window again. Peripheral vision.
That man was there, standing in the same spot at the end of the
street. See, now that's where you call the police, nigga. This nigga pull up once, he might be cool. Twice? Hey, no habla inglés, papi. Call 911, bro. Get this nigga up out of here.
Looking up at the house, just like he was before. Something about this time was 10 times more creepy and eerie. Why the hell was he back here?
At this point,
I must have stared off at him for a while, because one of my coworkers noticed I looked worried and asked if everything was okay. I said yeah, and tried to refocus
this nigga
on
just
the
capping, bro.
I kept looking back, though.
Double pocket jerk method.
Standing there for a minute.
June, if we live together, I got scared at night. No, nigga, I'm not fucking cuddling, nigga.
I looked back again, and he was gone. The rest of my workday felt to drag on.
Bro, he pulled up 3 times.
I couldn't stop thinking about this random guy looking up at my house.
For a ride.
It was just so odd.
Nigga, why you
when
ain't
I got out of work, I went outside and walked around my driveway, looking for any reason for them to be looking up at my house like that. Everything looked normal. However, I did notice that the window of my office was visible and clear from where the man was standing, which means he could likely see me looking at him. I went back inside and made dinner. I had a call with my brother that night, and I mentioned it. He agreed it was odd, but said it was likely nothing. After getting off the phone, I sat down and watched TV, hoping to get my mind off of it.
Come on, bro. See, you
got
no critical thinking skills,
It was maybe 9 p.m.
None at all, my nigga.
I had the show turned down because I was getting tired, but with the low volume, I was able to hear what I thought were footsteps outside my house.
This nigga got, this nigga cooked, bro. Didn't you see this nigga pull up outside your house 2 times, bro? And you just gonna let him stay? You just gonna let him stay? Come on, gang. This real. Yes, this is real.
I jolted up from the couch and stared at the front door. The footsteps walked up, only stopping for a brief second, then walked away. I hurried over to the door and looked out the peephole. I could only faintly see a figure walking down to the road.
Like, bro,
Once they were gone,
what are you doing, bro? Call the police.
Immediately,
bro, get this nigga,
a note taped to the back.
Oh, he got evicted.
It was short. It just said, "Pat, answer the door." I was not only confused, but horrified. How did they know my name? And what was the note even supposed to mean? They didn't even knock or stay long enough for me to have answered the door. Not that I would have anyway. This was enough for me to call the police. 2 officers came over, and I told them everything. Unfortunately, there wasn't all that much they could do, though. They pretty much wrote it all down.
They not helping
you. Something else.
Hey, you should have called him when that nigga was outside, kept a UAV on him or something, my nigga. Come on, bro.
Happens. Call them. It really didn't make me feel much better.
Turn black out. What the fuck?
I stayed up late that night, laying in bed, unable to sleep. I literally just laid there for hours, thinking about this man that was stalking my house and the eerie note he left.
Bro. No skills at all.
Then,
call
at just before 2 a.m.,
he ain't me.
A knock at the front door echoed through the otherwise silent house.
2 a.m. See, that's where you pull out. That's where you pull out a gun, chat. This why you gotta always. This where you gotta always keep your shit on you, gang. That's why I never lack. That's why I keep an M4 on the side of my desk, nigga. I'm never lacking, bro. In GTA though, I'm never lacking.
My body froze up.
2 a.m. This nigga come knocking on your door.
Was now deafening as I listened in fear.
This reminds me of the time I was watching June through his window. The fuck that mean?
After a few seconds,
wait,
what? Knocked again. My heart started beating faster. I got my phone and called 911. They sent officers right away, but the knocks continued the whole time I waited. Eerily,
bro,
they never got louder.
Go get a weapon.
Or more rushed or
this
aggressive.
Nigga just watching the door, bro.
It was just the same knocking.
He just sitting in his
over
bed,
and over, echoing through the hallways.
And you know the
of my
story
home.
did us some justice. He really butt ass naked right now.
The operator on the phone updated me that the cops were 2 minutes out, and just after that, there was a longer pause.
Bro, let a nigga bang on my door at 2 a.m., bro.
15 seconds.
No, I'm not, gang. I played Outlast, bro. Nothing scares me no more.
Then a whole minute passed.
Like what? Nothing scares me, eh? Mid-go? Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
When the officers showed up, nobody was at the door. They were too late. Again, I told them what happened,
bro,
and they seemed to take it a little bit more
seriously
this time.
Hit this nigga with a
pan
and tie that nigga
for them
up, bro.
to do anything about it.
Do something, bro. You gotta
they
attack
said
this
they would
nigga,
have an
bro.
officer patrol around here for the next couple weeks.
He looks like a good boy.
Those weeks
Look at your
came
window.
and went,
hey, bro, chill out, bro.
And the man never came back up to my
chill
door
out with that, bro.
or to the end of the driveway. At least from what I know.
I ain't even gonna look at my window. Fuck, man. I'm scared now.
It's been months later now, and still nothing else.
Bye, Blicky.
It still scares the hell out of me, though. The thought of the creepy note telling me to answer the door, and then there being knocking at 2 a.m.
He just lived in the same crib. I would have had to move, chat. I would have had to move, nigga. They wouldn't have seen me at the same crib. I promise you that.
Terrifying. Then there's also the thought
bro, watch
of them
out,
coming
bro.
back, lingering in my head. I don't know what they wanted,
right,
who they were, or if they're truly gone for good.
Yeah, see, first nigga, no critical thinking skills. I'm gonna give that nigga a solid C tier. He did call the police, but he could have did way more, gang. C tier. June, what is that thing watching?
This was when I was a
freshman.
freshman
Alright, but watch out,
in
bro.
high
Y'all
school.
trolling, gang.
The town I lived in was small.
Freshman in high school, I remember my days, chat.
Compared to places nowadays.
No, I'm not a super
It was
singer,
very
bro. Don't even
woodsy
say that
all
dumb
around,
shit.
and the buildings and houses weren't so compacted together. My home was out in the woods. My parents had a decent amount of land.
That's your first problem. Why are you out in the woods?
The place with his dad.
Chat, would y'all ever live out in the woods?
Anyway,
Fuck, no,
it didn't have a real road or driveway. It was more of a dirt trail, so the school buses didn't have a stop at our place.
No neighbors?
I'd either have to walk a mile to my friend's house to get picked up, or just walk the extra distance straight to school.
Bro, you weren't in my high school, gang.
Usually, I just walk all the way to school.
I'm in the woods right now. Oh, hell no.
This was a typical day, as far as I could tell. I was walking down the trail from my home, enjoying the calm morning sounds of the woods, when I spotted a car up ahead. It wasn't my parents' car, or anyone else's that I knew.
Bro, how do you live in the woods, gang? It's your first problem, bro.
This
Nobody got no
only
thinking.
led to and from the
bro, I would never live in the woods, chat. In the woods. No neighbors, nigga. Who gonna save you? Somebody break into your shit. Who gonna save you? It's just you. If somebody break into your shit in the neighborhood, at least you got a chance, nigga. Neighbors might hear some screaming, call the police. You ain't here, nigga. You on your own. It's only you.
So
wouldn't live in a cabin mansion. Hell no.
Was unusual.
If there's no neighbors, no.
I don't know if I've ever seen a random car here at all before this.
Either neighbors or security.
I felt kind of uncomfortable having to pass it.
It's nice.
There was a woman inside.
All right, bro, what are you talking about?
She looked 35 or 40.
No correlation at all,
with dark circles under her eyes and shaggy black hair. She glanced at me, but I just looked down. I could feel her eyes on me as I walked past, though. I picked up the pace and got to school.
So she just watched
At the dinner table that night, I mentioned it to my parents, asking who it was and why they were there. Both of them looked worried and confused. They told me the woman must have just gotten lost, and I shouldn't worry about it.
Parents working with
her.
her.
Worry in their eyes.
Yeah, the parents working with her, bro.
They dropped me off at school for the next week, which was odd because they both started work early, like 6 a.m. So they must have called in late for the entire week just to drop me off. Honestly, I thought that it was an overreaction, as I felt I was old enough to handle myself, but I knew my parents were just being safe. On Monday morning of the following week, I packed up my book bag
we have
and
that
started
here. It's called
walking.
a swing. What the fuck is a
During
swing?
the last week that I'd been dropped off, we never saw the woman or the car, so I really wasn't worried at all anymore.
Good, bro. It was a one-time.
However,
one time, bro.
this
She pulled up one time.
when I got to that same spot in the woods, she was there again, sitting in her car.
Niggas gotta start carrying weapons, chat. This is why I always carry a pocket knife with me, gang. I always keep a pocket knife with me in GTA, gang. Always keep it. It might not look like it's deadly, but this bitch do damage, nigga. It do damage, see?
Watching me. I had a mini heart attack.
Us.
This was too much to be a coincidence. Showing up twice on the trail that was basically our driveway, sitting in the same spot,
Assway.
What is assway, man? When I was walking alone. I made the decision to cut through the woods instead of walking past her again.
Bro, nigga, the woods? Now she got you trapped, bro. Nobody getting you. Dude scared of a black hair 5'4" white woman in an SUV.
Few steps off the trail,
until
but
she
immediately the woman noticed. She turned her car on and drove up
hell no.
closer
Run,
to
nigga.
me.
Run!
I pretended to ignore her, walking faster
bro,
into
you
the
talking
woods.
about ignoring, nigga? You need to start running.
I heard her car door open.
Bro, you need to start running.
Crunching on the leaves behind me.
Hold on, I'm gonna search it up after this. Hold on.
Then she called out my name.
Oh hell no!
Like my full name, in this eerily calm and loving voice.
I'm catching a plot to his whole time. It's gonna be his real mom, and his mom and his dad currently took him from the regular mom. So now she been stalking them, and they grew up in. Watch, there's gonna be a switch up, chat. This gonna be his real mom. Watch.
I turned my head.
And then the other people kidnapped him when he was young.
She had this dead stare
in GTA
and blank, expressionless face.
Watch.
Her eyes were tired and heavy, and she had this sickly look. I sprinted away.
Yeah, that might not be your mom.
I circled back through the woods to my house, where I called my parents. That might not be your mom. They called the police and came home right away. What I didn't expect was my parents to know exactly who the woman was.
What I said.
It was my dad's ex-wife.
What I said.
From almost 2 decades ago. Apparently, she'd had mental health issues for a while, and would have these horrifying episodes where she'd get obsessed with something and do disturbing things. The day I...
See, that's not what I was expecting. What the fuck? Alright, I wasn't... Oh, hell no. No, I wasn't expecting that.
Told them I saw her. My parents reported it to the police,
tired of sickly
knowing it had to be her. Police failed to do anything about it, though, only checking up on her and saying she seemed normal. For that whole week,
she could just chill on the block?
She had been stalking our house, knowing that...
So the police just letting her chill on the block? No, nothing. So the police go check her car, see her chilling on the block, and not go tell her to leave? No trespassing?
Every time my parents left for work early,
I'm moving cribs, bro.
I would be walking alone to school.
She's trying to fuck the son.
My parents never told me what happened to her after this, or what she was trying to do to me, or why she was doing any of it.
Mommy.
Hopefully, nothing like that happens again.
I told you I keep that pocket knife on me, eh? This bitch sharp, man. They do damage.
Love Roblox?
Man, we get Roblox. Grocery store. At the workplace?
This was in 2019.
It's short. Hey, I'm telling you, this bitch do damage, gang.
Usually closing shifts, and I lived alone in a
sharp.
small 1-bedroom apartment. We had a lot of regulars at our store, customers that would come in all the time.
It's not a knife, by the way. This is
a
toy. It's a toy.
One of
McDonald's Happy Meal toy, by the way.
Was a guy that came in right before closing a couple times a week. Nobody knew his name, but everybody knew of him. Because nobody liked customers that came in 10 minutes before the store closed.
Yeah, I hate when customers come in last second.
Usually being the only cashier,
man, you had all day to pull
I'd
up.
Be the one interacting.
You come 10 minutes before close?
It was always a bit strange. He didn't talk much and always had a tired look on his face. This night, he came in as he always did, right before
Maybe he
closing,
just work a lot.
grabbing a couple things and coming up to the register. I scanned everything, he paid, and he left. We didn't exchange any words aside from a simple greeting. 10 minutes later, I closed down the register and spent a few minutes cleaning up, clocking out and leaving at 10:15.
Father.
As I walked out
what are you
to my
talking
car,
about, man?
I noticed the man was still in the parking lot. He was standing awkwardly outside of his car with his hands at.
Hey, let the customer that showed up 10 minutes before clock out be waiting outside his car staring at me when I walk out. Let it happen, bro. I'm using all that anger on this nigga. He ain't gonna see the next day. Maybe he just wanna crack, but he antisocial cause he a dweeb. He's an asshole. He just wants to crack. Alright, bro.
At his side,
what?
just looking at the store.
That's what y'all got from this story.
I got in my car and went home. I didn't have work the following day, so I stayed up a bit later than usual. I didn't get into bed until probably 1 a.m.
1 a.m.?
Only moments after getting under the covers, though, a bright light glared into my bedroom through one of the windows. I thought,
hell no, I know he not at her crib. I know he not at her crib. I know this nigga not at her crib. I know this nigga ain't follow her.
it was a neighbor pulling in, so I didn't
What
really
up, man?
care about it.
Dude needs
After
better
a second,
riz, bro.
the light
Yacht
shut off,
skibbity.
which unconsciously confirmed to me that it was just headlights. I fell asleep only a couple minutes later. I woke up in the night to what I thought was my phone ringing. The way I woke up, half asleep and in the middle of a dream, it was hard to tell what was real and what wasn't. I rubbed my eyes and tapped my phone on the nightstand. It was blank. No messages
This nigga got
or
your number
phone calls
too?
came in.
Bro, like
I wasn't sure what to think. I was going to just ignore it and go back to sleep,
Got your number too?
as I wasn't even fully awake yet to begin with.
She's
But the
good.
slightest thing
Her
caught
eyes
my
normal
eye
for
as
me.
I rolled back over. The bedroom door was barely
I know he
cracked
not in your
open.
crib.
Not even enough to let any light in or anything.
I
It was
know he
just
not in your
uneven
crib.
with the door frame, not latched shut. I always closed the door to my room, so seeing it not fully shut immediately woke me up. I got out of bed and walked over,
Ain't no
pushing
telling me
it
this nigga in your
closed
crib
to
for
see
real,
if
man.
maybe it was stuck for some reason. It smoothly latched into the door
Man,
frame,
Doki Doki
just like it
senpai
always
fucked me
did,
in my windpipe,
so
man.
there was no way I'd
That shit peak?
mistakenly left it open. I felt
Bro,
my
this-
body get
like, bro,
shaky.
nobody got
My
no
heart
weapons,
was
chat?
pounding.
None of these niggas
But
got
even
no
with
weapons.
everything pointing otherwise,
These low-key got me
I still
spooked.
tried to
Oh,
convince
what
myself
are you
that
talking
this was
about?
somehow nothing.
I can't even laugh,
Tried
bro.
to think
Fucking
of
hurts
any
to laugh.
possible way that this was
Look at
something
your
to not
window.
worry
Alright,
about.
bro, watch out.
But my mind thought back to the light I saw before falling asleep. I walked over to the window and peeked through the blinds. There was a car parked in my driveway. I could only
This shit would scare me. If I walk outside my room right now, I get scared.
see the back
But I'm
half
in my
of it,
bed, so
but
I'm
I
fine.
instantly felt a rush of panic.
Snug as a bug in the rug.
Who
What
was
that
at
nigga
my
be saying?
house?
Something like that.
And was someone inside with me?
Bro.
I hurried over to the door again and flicked on
Bro,
the
lock the
lights.
door. Do something.
I stood there by the door.
Bro, you letting this nigga know you
panicking
in there?
and thinking.
Bro, lock the
realizing
door.
I should call 911 just to
Lock
be
the door.
safe.
Call
I
911.
looked
Hide
at the
under. Lock the
nightstand
door.
that my phone was
Hide
on,
under the bed.
and
Call
just before
911.
I started to walk over there, I saw an
This bitch
eye
ain't locked the door.
looking back at me
This
from
bitch
a
ain't locked
crack
the
in
door.
closet.
I know he not in the closet. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. I know he not in the closet. Oh fuck no. Oh fuck no. Snug as a bug in a rug. If he got hug, what the fuck? Oh, if he got a hug, just call 1919.
Body shook,
He dropped
and I let out
Esau,
a gasp,
Uber's driver. No,
then
he's
spun
not.
around and sprinted out of my house.
In your closet?
By the time I found a neighbor
wouldn't
that
be able
would
to
answer
sleep
their
again,
door
chat.
and call the police
Let a
for
nigga be
me,
in my
at
closet.
least 15 minutes had gone by already.
I'm never sleeping.
The car in my driveway
Bro,
was
you
still
got
there when
PTSD
officers
from
showed up,
forever, yeah.
but the man was gone.
Yeah, on GD2.
It didn't take long for them
Personal
to use
food
the car
deliveries.
to track him down, though, and I felt nauseous when it turned out to be the man from the grocery store. His reasonings for everything didn't make any sense, but it was clear he'd had his eye on me for a while now, and he was not mentally well. I think
Well,
the
they got a
only
lot of
reason I'd
crazy
woken
niggas
up
out
that
in this
night
world, bro.
was because the man's phone rang while he was hiding, and he silenced it just as I woke up. If not for that, I don't know what would have happened to me, or if I'd even be here right now.
See, they got a lot of crazy niggas in the world. Why am I watching this shit with my lights off, bro? Nigga, I'm getting spooked now. What the fuck? I'm scared.
Roblox is...
Fucking Roblox.